Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I hope everybody's okay by now. As I predicted, we didn't go into a full-blown World War III, I say yet. We were able to pull back from that knife's edge. Thank goodness. It was a very stressful time for us all. A lot more questions than answers have emerged since then, and we'll tackle some of those today. Has Iran still got its enriched uranium? Was the operation some sort of false flag? Will Netanyahu step aside, do a deal to step aside? Coincidentally, the court case is activating against Mr. Netanyahu, and he's to appear before court to answer for those charges that somehow went away in the last 12 months more, but now they're back. So we'll see if Trump's talking about, he should be pardoned or the charges should be dropped or something like that. I think this is paving a way for the deal to be done, for Netanyahu to go. As I said, this is all about, and there's some pretty good geopolitical analysts on X, one by the name of Evan, and there seems to be for those that are really, following how the world order works, how the military industrial complex works, how the vested interests works, how the profiteers work, how the billionaires work. It seems that it wouldn't be in their interest to keep a warmonger like Netanyahu in as Prime Minister of Israel. There's a big push to normalise the Middle East, and to do that, they need to solve two problems, Iran and Netanyahu. So the East is poised or being primed for development. Even the Palestinian leader on the West Bank came out and supported Trump's attack on Iran. So we're seeing some really strange things occurring in the Middle East. Equally strange, Trump's visited or attended NATO, and you heard the NATO leader fawn all over him. NATO members have agreed to increase defence spending, of course. Obviously, the US military-industrial complex will benefit from that. I guess what I've learnt in all of this over the last couple of weeks, that I can't find, if you look for answers that around ideology or what's right or what's wrong, you're unlikely to find them in the main. Most likely you'll find the answers to your questions if you follow the money. And I do believe that is why Trump is currently in power, because he is doing what others didn't do, to further interests, open up new markets, open up new investment opportunities in the Middle East and other parts of the world as well. Africa would be another one. He made it a priority to try and broker peace deals in Africa. Where did he go on his first overseas trip? To the Middle East. So this is all about American capitalistic expansion across the world. So, and I guess counteracting the rise of BRICS as well. So that's what I've learnt in the last couple of weeks. So follow the money. It's always about the money. Okay, so where does that leave us? Okay, well, people power, part of Pluto in Aquarius, part of what we're seeing now, being able to see the truth of things, is about people seizing power back from those that would seek to take it away from us. And so equally we get to see how the I guess the world order, how the billionaires work. Equally we are seeing also at the same time the power of the people. Let's see where that power will take us. Let's see who's going to win. In New York, the power of the people was demonstrated again with the election, whether you agree with it or not, of what could become New York's first Muslim mayor. Inspirational times when we look at the power of the people. So I don't think this is a world where we don't have control over vested interest, transactional politics. I think it's a world where we can make our voices heard. Okay, let's get on with the reading. So, enriched uranium, Netanyahu, will there ever be a Palestinian state? Goodness gracious, my heart breaks every time, just like yours. Will Trump get away with federalising the National Guard? He's using the National Guard in California to support police raids on drug dealers. So it's creeping more and more toward military on the streets, a militarized state. It's illegal, but we'll have a look if that's if he's going to get away with that. NATO, I want to look at our allies moving away from Trump. He's promised also he may send Patriot missiles to Ukraine. Again, what's all that about? Because he has no love for Ukraine. This would be part of Iran and Russia and China, the deal that they're currently doing to try and bring Iran into some kind of moving away from that extremist state that I spoke about in my last reading. And I'll pull some oracle cards on how do we find peace in such a world where, wrong is right, and right is wrong, up is down and down is up, and so much vested interests pulling us in ways that we don't want to be taken in, and having to exert our power as well. And that's the good thing. We get to use our own power in all of this. Okay, so but that's how I see it now. I see it, the people versus the power. Maybe I got radicalized in the last couple of weeks. All right, has Iran still got its enriched uranium? Let's take a look. Has Iran still got its enriched uranium? Has Iran still got its enriched uranium? I see it's hidden. It's under, it's under some kind of shelf. And it's right on it's underneath. I think it, maybe it's a landscape that I'm seeing, one with cliffs or something like that, because it's hidden. It's hidden within. I think they still have it. All right. Has Iran still got its enriched uranium? The Empress card. The Empress card, abundance. Iran is keeping a lot up its sleeve to leverage the deal that it wants out of all of this. Yes, it has. And I see Russia here is in the frame in some way. Now, we know Russia promised them an actual nuclear warhead. There is a plan here for that enriched uranium. The Moon card, interesting, comes up all the time. Volatility, things under the surface. It's still a very volatile ceasefire, if you can call it that, which could break at any time. But it seems like Russia and Iran have a plan still. The Five of Wands in the past, so it's like a tug of war, fighting, competition as well, and we get Three of Cups. So we've got Iran being supported by Russia and China. I'll just out with it, who are again behind the scenes with this deal. And I think my feeling is, why did Trump suddenly offer Patriot missiles to Ukraine? This is to keep Russia somehow to heal, bring Russia to heal in some way, send a signal to Russia. Now we have the Emperor and control in the immediate future, the leader of Iran, and we have the High Priestess, secrets being kept, and the Queen of Pentacles, sanction relief. Now, stability, financial stability. We heard Trump come out today and say that China could buy Iran's oil. So they're not going to stand in the way of Iran, I guess, Iran's economy, building Iran's economy as well. There's a lot that doesn't add up unless you understand that there are deals being done to, again, bring this peace to the Middle East. And peace, that's saying first, what is it? Peace through strength that he reckons he came up with. I think it's first peace, then prosperity for me. I think that's more likely it. There's an inevitability in the hopes and fears, and then we have the Eight of Swords. So that's worry, it's restriction, and yeah, it's the economy and a new start. Okay. So whatever's happened to that enrich, I think it's still there. They're not going to develop it. They will sign or do something. I don't know if they're going to sign, but they're not going to develop a nuclear weapon with that enriched uranium, because that is part of the deal that they're doing in return for their piece of prosperity. The Queen of Wands, they want stability now more than anything. But it seems to me, without giving away secrets, that Russia has a plan. They have a plan within a plan for later on. Okay. They're not going to do anything with that enriched uranium. They're not going to build a nuclear weapon. I don't think they have to. I think they would just be given one. But they still have it because it's being used as a leveraging. It's almost like who would know whether they have or not. And if there's a chance that they have, then Israel may be less reluctant to go in there with all guns blazing. Okay. They're not going to use the enriched uranium. However, I would say anyone who's dealing with Iran needs to bear in mind that Russia is in the mix there as well. The Russian Prime Minister said he would give Iran a nuclear weapon. So I think the game has changed somewhat in the Middle East. They have to do the deals. All right, both sides have to do the deals. All right, so was the operation, Trump's operation, the B-2s sent in with the bombing that supposedly obliterated and destroyed the uranium, which didn't do that according to intelligence. Intelligence is right, it didn't. Okay, so was this a false flag? All right, so Seven of Pentacles. It wasn't their first plan. It was a plan B and a manifestation and a manipulation. Whatever they wanted to do, they had to, what the operation that we saw was their plan B. And it was illusion, delusion. Okay, smoke screens, all smoke and mirrors. The Two of Pentacles in the past, weighing up the best way forward and to bring a new start. So it was needed, I guess, to bring, because it could have exploded. The whole thing could have exploded. So in a way, the power money interests in running a false flag actually did prevent an escalation. But we've got the Tower card here, a restructuring, a new Middle East. The Hanged Man came up before when I said would there be a world war, and that's come up again. So there's a pausing and a ceasefire while negotiations take place. The King of Pentacles is in the hopes and fears, and we get the Page of Cups. Can be a surprise deal being done. Was it a false flag? It looks like it was, but it wasn't without risk. It was to bring in, nothing's all that simple, is it? It was to bring Iran to its knees. It was to show Iran the power that could be unleashed. But in a way, in doing that, it brought stability and a deal forward. So, defending oneself and waiting for one ship to come in, and there's the prosperity here. Nobody will get everything that they want in these deals, but there are massive deals being done in the Middle East right now. Okay, so it seems like it was a plan B, a type of false flag that actually did work to encourage a ceasefire. Okay, will there ever be a Palestinian state? Because to bring peace to the Middle East, they have to solve the genocide that's occurring in Gaza at the moment. Now, a Harvard study has put the real figure of deaths, killings, is at 400,000. Half of those are children. So the Palestinian population has decreased since the beginning of October 7th. And Hamas, what was Hamas doing? Who's Hamas? Who is Hamas serving? Again, we've got to look deeper, but almost 500,000 Palestinians, 400,000, half of them children, have perished, died, been bombed, killed, buried under rubble, you name it, in Gaza, and that is a genocide. Okay. So, will Palestinians ever be free? Will they ever get their own state or be able to live in peace? Will Palestinians ever get their own state? So we are at a crossroads here in so many ways, and we have a new start, decisions being made and then a new start. I think this is also part of any deal with Iran and in the Middle East, that they solve this, that they stop the bloodshed. The Knight of Wands, movement toward it. Seems to me it's being figured out right now. There we get the Devil, toxicity, chained to something, corruption, the Devil card, and the Moon card, the volatility here. We're talking about massive deaths, including of the hostages taken as well, all innocent players. The Page of Swords, inside, illumination, the seed of something. The Nine of Wands, boundaries, Eight of Swords, restriction, and the Five of Pentacles. So this is very much tied to, it is tied to the deal with Iran. It is tied to the deal with Iran in some way. The Chariot card, 3 cups lost, 1 cup remaining, and a deal being done. Let's see what comes after the 3 of, Yep, it's part of the negotiations in the Middle East to make it. You can't have a peaceful and profitable, developed Middle East. So, will they get their own state? I don't think so, but they will be freed in some way. There will be reconstruction. Maybe they get to keep Gaza. Maybe it's renamed and under the control of the Gulf states, which is what I've always seen. Okay, I can't see a two-state solution just yet. All right, let's have a look at go to the US now. Will Trump get away with using the National Guard for law and order? It's illegal. They've gone beyond now their own mandate, which was the ICE protection and putting down the protests in LA, helping police bust a drug dealer. That's law and order. That's the military, being used for law and order, and we get the death card. What's that about? The end of something. Will Trump get away with using the National Guard in California to help police impose law and order? Will Trump get away with using the National Guard in the way that he's using it currently? He's walking a fine line, and we get Hope, the star. It's an abuse of power, absolutely. There's the death card in the past, the end of something. The court cases are ongoing. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment in the immediate future. The Lover's card, relationships. Three of Wands in the present. And moving out of troubled waters. I don't think he will. What I'm seeing is there probably is stability. And the Empress, abundance, and the Seven of Pentacles. And the Fool, a new start. I think what I'm seeing here is it'll go all the way, obviously, to SCOTUS now. But I don't think he will get away with it. I feel like it's already been decided that this is a sort of a temporary thing. It's not going to be a permanent mobilisation of the National Guard to do law and order work. I don't think he's going to get away with that. Once stability has been resumed, this is it, that he can't further use the Guard. So we'll wait for that court decision. Let's go to NATO now. I'm using the Arcanum Tarot. Alright, are allies moving away from Trump? Let's switch decks to the Japaritsi deck. Are allies moving away from Trump? They have a plan. They have a plan. There are many plans. There are many players. And the Europeans have a plan. Canada's just announced a defence deal. Australia's in negotiations with a defence deal with the EU. The map is being changed. The EU is it's in its interest to arm up because it's currently in a weakened state against America. So our allies moving away from Donald Trump. Our allies moving away. Yes, the star, okay? They've seen their way forward, and it's in unity and coming together, strength in unity. It's inevitable. It's inevitable that this occurs. This happened, I guess, when the trade wars started. It's already happened. It's already happening. We get the Two of Tides, which is cups, the two doing a deal, doing deals, and then we get the Tower. As much as there's restructuring in the Middle East, there's restructuring of allies as well. The King of Winds, which is the King of Swords, objectivity and planning, and the Five of Pentacles. I would say the biggest impediment to where they want to get to is finances. Not everybody's going to have the capacity to arm up at 5%. they're going to have to cut other programs. But it's almost as if they want to stand on their own 2 feet, if they want to have leverage and power in such a world as what we have, then they have to arm up and become independent. The Nine of Pentacles, there is a question around the finances, the dollar. Isolation. Are Trump's allies moving away from Trump? And the jester, the jester, the Page of Wands, they're taking their first tentative steps away from him. And the Seven of Cups, illusion, delusion, choices, smoke screens. Not everybody's fully on board, but it's the start of a plan. It's the manifestation of greater independence for Europe. So yeah, it's taking Queen of Tides, taking care of themselves. All right, Patriot missiles to Ukraine. I know that Ukraine suffers relentless attacks from Russia. And Trump, signalling Patriot missiles, is sending a message to Putin on Iran, on the Iran deal. You know, now that I understand how things work, it's not a enlightening understanding. It just further demonstrates to me how far we've yet to go as a race of people. All right, Patriot missiles to Ukraine. Patriot missiles to Ukraine. Will Ukraine get the Patriot missiles they need? Will Ukraine get the Patriot missiles they need? Four of Cups. Four of Cups is and the Four of Swords. No. The Two of Fire. Well, they get less. If they do get in something, it's less. So we get the Two of Wands is a deal. We have moderation and temperance in the past. We get the Knight of Cups. Potential deal is in the offering, but I just don't feel it's everything that they think they're going to get. The Jester of Fire, the Page of Wands, the talks. Again, this is also tied up in the machinations and the wheeling and the dealing of the EU as well. Talk about dominoes. So we get the Lovers, relationships, and the Page of Cups, deals. The Chariot in the hopes and fears. Will it be quick enough? Will they get enough? And the Ace of Pentacles. Looks like they're getting something. Yeah, they're going to get something. Absolutely. Yeah, look at all this. Okay, so as much as there's wheeling and dealing in the Middle East, there's also wheeling and dealing in NATO as well. You give us this for that. Looks like Ukraine's getting something, okay, from the US. We'll see what that is. It's very fraught at the moment, but that's as it stands now. If they can work their way through all these issues, it looks like they get something. That will then send a... It's interesting that card, the Ace of Swords, looks like minerals. Again, this is also in the interests of Trump's deal. Again, you've got to see that he needs his wins as well. So it looks like they are going to get something from America. The rare earth minerals in Ukraine, the deal that the US has done. The fear is, will the supplies, the weaponry from the US, come quick enough? Okay, so when we saw the NATO leader sucking up to Trump, I think this is all pre-orchestrated to get what they wanted out of Trump as well. All right, Let's just see, where does that leave Putin? See, the weakening of Russia and China. Putin's going to China for 4 days. He doesn't normally travel. So again, that's the other part of the chessboard. Show me Putin's future. Show me Putin's immediate future. Show me the Hanged Man. 5 of Gardens, money. He's worried about money, obviously. Where's his slice of the pie? And the Queen of Gardens, it's money. He's going to China to do some kind of deal to do with money. Moderation, that's good. The 9 of Fire, the 9 of Wands, boundaries is in the past. The Star. You might see, we might be close to getting an end to the Ukraine-Russia thing. Win. There's a win here. 6 of Wands. The Hanged Man. The Drowned. This is the Hanged Man in this deck. He's not in a good position at the moment. Clinging to the past. It's almost like, Putin, there's all these deals going on. Where's yours? The Lovers, in the hopes and fears, relationships. He's worried, okay, where's he in all of this? And the 3 of Wands, he's looking for his deal as well. The 4 of Tides, disappointment. And the King of Wands stepping forward, and the 8 of Swords, restriction, loss. He's not in such a good position in this immediate future. He's going to China, the Ace of Swords, the Truth. He's going to China to try and do the Knight of Swords, to do a deal with China. He needs finance from China. He needs money from China. The 2 of Cups, doing a deal, and the 8 of Pentacles. A deal is in the works with China. The 7 of Pentacles. This is plan B for him. Putin is kind of on the outer at this time. He is going to China to try and get money. He maybe, whether it's a loan, whether it's trade with China. Putin can't afford to keep this war in Ukraine going for much longer, and we are very, as close as we have been, I think, to seeing some kind of deal to end the war. So that's how it's all playing out as I see it. The question is, how do we find peace in such a world? Well, if you look at any relationships within groups, you'll see similar game playing, similar jockeying for power. And we always have a choice about what we're going to stand for, what we're going to fight for, and what we're going to look at, attach ourselves to, and what we're going to pursue for our own health and well-being. The choices are always ours. Okay. It's almost like as if, now we know that these kind of plays go on around the world. It's almost like as if there will always be that. There always has been that. Just that now they're incredibly sophisticated. All right, so how do we find peace in such a world, Spirit? I know that's what the underlying questions my viewers want. How do we find peace in such a world? We take a risk, we dive off that board, and we understand that we're always going to come to a soft landing. That's what I'm seeing. Even sometimes if we land in the dark, I guess it's about having faith that there is always going to be, that difficulties always pass. There's always going to be something new occurring on the horizon. So how do we find peace in such a world? So you have the dream thief, refusal of the call, refusal to go there, to get involved with that. This is about determining our own future. This is about resistance. This is about rebellion. This is about not being led by a nose peg. This is about refusing. How do we find peace? Well, we take that dive off that board. Choices and their consequences. Feast of plenty. Choices and their consequences. Making the right choice. I love that. This is a message about resistance and rebellion. Hollow bone, teachability. That's interesting. And then it's about earning wisdom and passing wisdom on in our pursuit of what we consider to be right, what we know in our hearts is right. Gestation period is in the past, so again, this is about evolution. Even getting of knowledge is knowledge that you may not even want, is about evolution, because what are we going to do with that knowledge? Netcaster preparations come to fruition. I guess to be part of, to be realistic, to be in the here and now, we do have to make certain preparations ahead of time. If you want to march, for example, then you know you've got to take a risk when you march, but you know you've got a commitment there. You know you're going to join others. You know that what you protest brings about change. This again is about people power, right use of power, crown games, right use of power. Crown, the chakra, the crown chakra, spiritual, being attached. If you want to be attached to spirit. Live a spiritual life, right? That is the right use of power. Knowing what's right. The Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. Sometimes I'm exhausted after the last week. I will be taking some, downtime to recuperate. The rest and renewal is very important. And vanishing mirror, ego sublimination. There are lessons for all around ego dominating, that, what you see, what is a projection? Okay, so let's just take someone like Donald Trump is always projecting whatever he is saying, the opposite is the truth. And the mirror, he's looking back and seeing his own reflection, his own ego. But we've got a shattering of the mirror. And so people ask me, when's this going to end? It's already ordained. It is going to end. Magician's sword, confidence in your magic, in the hopes and fears. Do you fear your own strength? Be confident in that. And fool's embrace, transmuting pain. You get stuck when you say, what can I do? I don't know. I'm this, I'm that. It's about transmuting that pain. Yes, the devil is there. The devil card keeps coming up, doesn't it? But it's about taking all the disappointment we feel, all the pain, all the heartache, and moving through that, sitting with that for however long you need to, and moving through that towards some kind of knowledge and awareness that then makes the pain less and increases your confidence in your own magic. Opportunity will always be there. The sun will always rise, and we have reconciliation. We have so much to look forward to when we bring about the change that we wish to see in the world. Possibility for unions exist everywhere. Clarity and organisation. That's why I have so much. I'm so glad I did this oracle card reading for you. I have so much faith left in the US that they will be the change that they want to see. And the New York mayoral race, I'll read on that next time I'm on. There's a lot to do and a lot to keep going with. So thank you all for your support, and bye for now.